the promoter of the Formula Renault 1.6, which just started this weekend.
This car is the first step for racing. So when you come from go-kart, you have to start with that kind of car, which is a very easy handle car and is with very low running costs. So that car was designed in order to promote as much as possible the drivers. I had to be really focused about the cost, reliability. It was the two main targets, and even the performance of the car, of course. But you don't need to have a staff of engineers to set up engine, chassis and so on. It's very easy to set up.
It's a very sexy Formula One looking car, which is basically built for young drivers, mostly coming out of the kart sport to develop into the larger formula.
I drive since age 13 a kart, and a year ago I drive a Renault Clio. Touring car was not my thing, so Formula car feels better. It's like karting, you see the wheels, the wind coming to your helm.
I made karting for 7 years, and this is my first year of Formula, and I think the earlier you can start with it, the better it is.
I drove one race in Sweden before, so I know a little bit how it goes in the races, but still a little bit nervous.
Friday I had school exam on school, so I need to do exams. And all the other guys were driving all the day, so I need to step in the car Saturday and drive a qualification, but it was 8.
The qualifying was hard because the track was a little bit wet, and we ended in third.
So the teams are equal. Yeah, normally you have some better teams with more experience, and this is all new. Everyone is on the same line, on the same starting line, and I think we are pretty good to go.
Every race now we do is a new experience for the drivers as well. I mean, in 2 liter, we can sort of, after testing, you sort of gauge who's going to be where and so on. He is completely new for everybody.
We're hoping to win, as I have pole position for both the races. We'll see in the track who's my biggest competition, but hopefully no one.
I going on the outside because my start was not so good, and I thought I can now turn in, but there was 2 cars on the right of me, and we have touched each other. He with the left front, he has touched my right rear, and the whole car of the right rear was damaged.
I saw some cars crash in the start, and I just tried to keep the focus on my driving.
I started on second place, and then it starts to rain a bit, and then the first guy went off at the Tarzan corner, so then he went off and I just could take the first place and hold it.
I got third, which was good, but it was a very difficult race with the rain started to fall in the middle of the race, and we were on slick tyres, so it got quite slippery and nervy out there at times, but I kept it on the black stuff, so that's the most important thing.
There was a good challenge with Roy. As we drove side by side two corners straight, so and we didn't even touch ourselves, so it was really honest.
Yeah, he came really fast back, and it was just difficult, but I found the right line and just keep the exit clear, and it was just fun.
I have a little bit of oversteer with behind. I touched the wall and then the front in the wall. Then broke the suspension.
It was a really fun race, but it was difficult because it started to rain and it got really slippery with slicks, and it was the first time for me on rain with slick tires.
It got real bad on the last lap, and one car was in the wall down in turn 2, and then the leader spun coming onto one of the last corners of the track.
was raining, so it was just a bit wet track. And it was just my own mistake because I was putting too much gas and then I spinned off. It just completely my own mistake. So yeah, I have to live with that. I spinned the car, and then the red flag came, so I had pretty lot of luck.
With us on slicks, it was quite treacherous for us out there. So with all the cars going off, and they just guessed it was safer for the red flag than to hit one of us cars that were still going to hit one of the stopped cars.
And officials were just relaxing, and then there was suddenly one guy in a golf car. He was like, "Oh, come, we have to go to the podium," and I was like, "How, what?" And then it all starts to happen, because then I know, oh yeah, red flag. They took the lap before, and then everything was fine. I was like, oh yes, I won, and it was like, yeah.
The race was fantastic. I spoke with one of the drivers on the podium, and he told me that it was really fun for him, and it was really nice.
Oh, the car itself, it's pretty good to drive. I don't have any experience with other cars, but I think this one it feels good, the front, the rear.
I was sitting on the grandstand here on the inside, and it's special to see, after the effort of the winter, to see 13 cars go through Tarzan. We actually asked Renault Sport last May if we could have a look at the car and bring it here. At the same time, Renault Sport had contact with Sweden, and about the same time as we did, where they announced their championship at the end of last year, which is fantastic because we can now sort of go to each other's championships, which is already happening.
The tracks are a little bit smaller and more twisty in Sweden. But now in NEC it's also some very fast tracks where the car isn't so much on the limit.
I'm gonna try to advance, but the primary thing in this race is to learn so much as possible about the car and about the driving style.
Start of the second race, it was wet, so it was kind of what I was hoping for, I guess. So I started 7th. I got a bit too much wheel spin off the start, but I still managed to make up one place.
Everyone was at the inside, actually at the first corner, and I took the outside and easily took 2 places back. And then the following corner was a flat right, and it was also outside, and it was easy to overtake.
All the spray, you can't see anything. You look like left, you only see the trees and the grass, and in the front you can't see anything. You can only see the red light from the other one in front.
We had a lot of spray. For sure, if you're behind someone, there's a lot of spray, so you have to go a bit more to the left, to the right to see where your braking points are. But if you know how to handle it, you can handle it, and it's okay.
Yeah, it was great fun driving in the wet. I really enjoyed it. Quite liked karting in the wet, and it was very similar to that, so it was good fun.
The car is great. It was great on the rain. The track was good for rain, and the tires also.
It was pretty intense because we were really fighting. It was pretty cool to fight with the guy, and after all, badly enough, I lost it, and I ended up with 4th. Not too bad, I think, because he had more experience. So I'm happy with the end result.
I had some idea that I should be somewhere in the front, but I couldn't be sure 100%. But now I know that my place is in the first place.
Today we have the promoter from England who has been promoting the 2.0 in England for many years, and the Clio Cup. He wants to have a 1.6 series next year, and we're talking about end of this season to maybe get some British drivers here, some Swedish here, and our own people. So we have our first sort of get-together at the end of this season, leading up to the next season. Spa is the next circuit. We're going to Zolder, we're going to Assen, and we're coming back to Zandvoort again at the end of the season, where we have a combined with the 2 liter, which would be spectacular, 35 2 liters, and then hopefully 15, 16, 1.6. So it's a nice season, I think.